We're back, the PodBrother, here in the NYC at the Big Apple Film Festival, and I'm with Jake, the director, the winner of, what was the name of your film?
The movie's called Life of a King.
Life of a King, starring Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba Gooding Jr., that's
awesome.
right.
Congratulations on your win, man.
Very appreciated.
And, I heard a lot of great accolades with the film. I didn't get a chance to see it because I was in here doing interviews, but I'm dying to see it.
I hope you do soon.
Yeah. So tell me how did you even think about doing that project? Like, take me to the beginning. What inspired you to even do this?
My producer had put me onto the story of Eugene Brown, who the movie is about 9 years ago, 8-9 years ago. And I had done some research with him, and I was really compelled by the story of this man Eugene, who started the Big Chair Chess Club in Washington, D.C., and I thought it would be a really worthwhile, interesting movie. So we just dug our heels in, and it took a little longer. It took about 7.5 years longer than we would have liked, but it all came together in a way I'm really proud of.
So you contacted him first to get the rights to the story, kind of thing?
You know, you'd have to talk to my producer about the ins and outs of the right. Yeah, I didn't contact anybody, but I do know this. My producer had contacted Eugene about his rights. Yeah, he had optioned his life rights. That's right, years ago. Mm-hmm. The option had lapsed by the time we were ready to shoot the movie, but Eugene was kind enough to re-up them for us, and
cool.
We went forward.
That's cool. So when you came on board and you saw that the project was greenlit, what was some of the homework that you needed to do to prepare for the project as a director?
Well, a lot of preparation was through those 8 years. The movie was not greenlit when I came on. I came on as just a writer. So having written the script, I was not planning on directing the movie. In my wildest dreams, I would, but that's not what we thought was going to happen. The movie went through years and years of turnaround. We were at Disney for a second, or we were almost there, I should say. And when the financiers came on board, willing to give us the money to make the movie, which was much lower than we had initially anticipated, the deal that my producer made with them is that we could make the movie for that low of a budget if they would let me direct it. So they did, and here we are.
Oh wow, that's cool. So you leveraged the chance to direct it with the low budget pitch.
That's what you got to do sometimes.
That's smart, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. Because
well, listen,
think like, the dude wrote it, so he's gonna know every single frame.
Exactly.
So that's kind of a safe bet
Exactly.
than to have like some cat straight out of school.
Well, that's the thing. That for me, I knew that because I had written it and it meant so much to me, I wasn't gonna let it not be good.
How many rewrites and drafts would you say you went through, like realistically? Because I know
right.
Writing scripts and doing creative, you always want to go back and put that one more stroke of on it. It's like, you second guess some things, and then you bring it back because you see maybe that didn't work or did work.
Sure.
Like, how many times did you?
Well, the initial script, about 10 years ago, there was an initial draft of a script, which was not the script we used by two other guys. And when my producer brought me on, it was to do a rewrite. And that rewrite became an entire restructuring and rewrite of the entire screenplay, other than a couple characters. So there's that draft. That took, a year. And then by the time you're all said and done, probably 20 drafts, 18, 19 drafts, because there are all types of versions floating around on my computer.
Nice.
But about 20.
How deep did you develop your character? I mean, some people go like really deep when we're writing, and they like to develop the characters really deep so that when they are writing, they've got these little character traits to pull from to kind of navigate through some conflict and drama. How deep did you go into developing your character?
Well, a couple of the characters in the movie are based on real people, and then there's others that are combinations of people and others that I just invented. So my research into the real people, obviously, here's the thing: a true story is it's only as compelling as you make it. You don't want to show 24 hours of somebody's day. You want to take the most important aspects of their life in relation to the actual narrative. So there are a lot of things that I would have liked to have, kept with some of the characters that we just didn't feel were relevant to the story, so I had to lose them. But you want to have backstory in your mind for every single character, but part of the actor's job is to come on and invent their own backstory. Mm-hmm. You coach them through it, but you don't want to just tell people exactly what they're thinking. You want to get them into the state of mind where they want to feel about what it is that their characters have experienced leading them to that point.
Yeah, once they read the script and digest it and they get into a character, it's almost like that backstory invents itself through the character.
Exactly.
And that part of the collaboration that the actor brings to the table.
Exactly. You know, anything that they invent in their heads, I encourage, and that's okay, as long as it all comes together for me on set, you know, in terms of everything else that's come before or after. That's the most important thing, that you can't just wake up that morning and say, you know what, I think my character had gone through this. No, I mean, have an idea of what you're doing and commit to it, and I'll let you know if it's going outside the bounds or not in relation to everything else.
Is this your first shot at directing, or did you have a few in your
No,
belt?
this is my second movie. My first film is called Don McKay. It is starring Thomas Hayden Church and Melissa Leo, who just won the Oscar a couple years ago, and Elizabeth Shue.
Has that been released yet?
That was released 3 years ago, yeah. That was released by Image Entertainment. We premiered at Tribeca Film Festival. And it had a small theatrical release, and you can find it on Amazon, Netflix.
Okay, beautiful.
Very, very, very different than this one.
All right.
Night and day. Believe me.
What kind of projects are you looking to do in the future? Are you looking to really do some more directing?
Yeah, sure.
And do you have a couple other scripts on the hopper?
I have a couple other scripts that I've written, and we're just waiting to release Life of a King, and that'll dictate whether or not I'm allowed to make them.
Nice. Are you in the market to look at scripts that you can possibly direct, or you mostly want to get in bed with your own stuff?
I would mostly like to get in bed with my own stuff. That being said, if I read something that's compelling and I feel that I can actually do justice to, I'd be interested. But if it's not something that I can connect to, then it would really have to depend on my confidence level in the material.
Are you open for doing any kind of script doctoring or consulting, or maybe script analyzing for a little small fee or whatever?
Not so much script analyzing. I'll do that for friends as a favor, or for a lot of people as a favor, but it feels to me a little bit weird to take money to analyze somebody's script. If we are talking about rewriting or script doctoring, yes, that's something that I've done and I'm interested in.
That's very, very good to know. Any advice
call me.
for? Yeah, oh yeah, call them. We'll give the contact information at the end.
Right there. It's right there.
I'll have it like all the way across.
555-7878.
So you. Where's home for you? Are you here in New York? Or
I'm born and bred New Yorker, but I live in Los Angeles.
Okay, cool. We're in Los Angeles as well, so I'd like
you
to
are?
definitely follow up.
Oh, very cool.
The screening out there.
Absolutely.
And, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, we're coming out. The movie will come out in January.
Okay, cool.
So.
Cool. The other question I have for you is the other festivals. I mean, now that you won this and the movie's coming out in January, are there any other festivals between now and the time it's released that you are going to put the film in?
Well, we premiered the movie 2 months ago at Los Angeles Film Festival, and being a New Yorker, I wanted to show the movie in New York. I thought this was a Big Apple Film Festival was a good opportunity. The distributor, I think they'd rather us just lay low on it and wait for it to come out in the next couple months, because you don't want to give the movie too much exposure.
Okay. How did that play on the family life putting this together? Are you married, single?
No, listen, I'll tell you, in terms of putting movies together, you have to be... It would be very, very, very difficult to be married and have kids. I might have a couple, but none that I know of, so that's all that matters in this regard. In all seriousness, though, no, this is your whole life when you're trying to look for financing for movies, and I can't afford to, if I were to, at this point, have to worry about putting a lot of money aside for children, which one day I would love to do, but right now, then I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah, you got the hustle, you got the grind on.
That's the thing. You just got to keep going, 24 hours a day. It never ends.
You, man. I take my hats off to you that you were able to complete 2 films and get them distributed and get awards on them. And,
I really appreciate that.
I know how hard it is, being a filmmaker and in the industry.
It's an uphill battle.
Man, it is an uphill battle. When you get to that point, it's just like... You can kind of...
And it never ends. You get the... For 2 seconds.
For 2 seconds.
What are you doing next?
Oh, great. Yeah, you're back in the grind.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, what are you doing next?
I have a couple scripts that we're trying to get going, and once Life of a King comes out, then we'll take the next steps to hopefully get them green lit. But it's an uphill battle, just taking meetings now and hoping that I get lucky a third time. This is or my name is?
Whatever you want.
This is Jake Goldberger, and stick with the pod, brother.
You heard right there from
Where am I
Jake.
going?
So do it. This is the PodBrother, a.k.a. Stephen E Kimbrough in the Big Apple at the Big Apple Film Festival. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go out and have me some beers, celebrate with Jake, and, just see what's going on for the next projects in the world of film in Manhattan. So I'll see you back in Los Angeles, back in the hood, the Hollywood hood. And until then, man, watch some movies, make some movies, do something. Peace out. This is PodBrother.